So hello and welcome to Cutting to the Bull Quarantine Edition. I'm Ben. As always, I'm joined by Gaz.
Oh.
And Mike.
Hello.
Today we are going to do a slightly different episode, but one which will be fascinating nonetheless. It is called The Unkillable Soldier. You're looking forward to this one? This guy's made of the same stuff I am.
What, he's a psychopath?
What, pure fantasy?
No, it's a true story.
You're both psychopaths.
Yeah.
Sociopaths, Mike, get it right.
Well, you're that too.
Second that.
I
It's all
feel
on the spectrum of
harshly done by, as always.
You always feel harshly done by. It's a persecution complex. Goes hand in hand with delusions of grandeur.
All right, Freud.
Well, yeah. Just saying.
Do you want to say hello
the-
to some new and returning listeners, Mike?
Yeah, we can do. Okay, Jacksonville, Florida.
Welcome back.
Derby, UK.
I think we've seen them before. Proud footballing town of Derby.
Oh, they bollocks. Sheepshaggers.
Oh.
Madrid, Spain. Manama, Bahrain. East Orange, New Jersey. Vaughan, Canada. Leeds, UK. Manchester, UK. Holyhead, UK. Reading, Pennsylvania. Kuznacht, Switzerland.
Wow, that's a new one.
Dublin, Ireland. Barcelona, Spain. Port of Spain. Trinidad and Tobago.
Wow, someone. Oh no, it's someone on holiday, but no one's on holiday right now, are they?
Peterborough, Canada. Wollongong, Australia. Newtown, Australia. And top, again, Fort Worth, Texas.
Wow. Thank you, Fort Worth.
Yep.
And everybody, stay safe, you fuckers. You know, don't go get on outside and all that. Right, weird news then, guys?
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Right, I'll start this one then. Was JFK killed because of his interest in aliens? Secret memo shows president demanded UFO files 10 days before his death.
Ooh.
An undercover letter written by John F. Kennedy to the head of the CIA shows that the president demanded to be shown highly confidential documents about UFOs 10 days before his assassination. The secret memo is one of two letters written by JFK asking for information about the paranormal on November 12th, 1963. These have just been released by the CIA for the first time. This is going in a new book, A Celebration of Freedom, JFK and the New Frontier, by a guy called William Lester.
Huh.
So was he shot to just stop him discovering the truth about UFOs?
I still don't think the CIA would have released it if it was.
Yeah.
I think it's probably, a red herring.
Well, in the second memo he sent to the NASA administrator, the president expresses a desire for cooperation with the former Soviet Union on mutual outer space activities. So maybe he did know something was there and thought, we've got to work together, we've got to have a solar warden.
Why not just show him some bogus information and lead him off the track rather than assassinate him?
Well, it's a lot easier and cheaper, isn't it?
Listen, even if Kennedy was trying to find out about aliens, they still had all the other reasons to shoot him. It was probably still more that he was trying to dismantle the CIA and
The deep state.
expose the deep state to the voting public. There's probably more of that than him trying to find out about little green men. I bet every sitting president in history, well, since the 60s, has asked the question at some point. Like, I'm the president, I demand to know. And I bet they still fuck him about. Yeah, it's coming. We'll bring the folder. Yeah.
It could have been the final nail in the coffin.
Certainly could have been, that's true.
I don't think it was the primary reason, personally.
No.
I'm going with it.
Of course you are, Ben. Of course you are.
Of course I am. Go with anything aliens.
That's fine.
So right, who's next?
Okay, coronavirus. Amir Kahn pushes dangerous conspiracy theory that disease man-made while they test 5G.
But not 3G, 4G, or anything else you've had before, just this one.
I don't know if they've had it in other countries, but we've had vandalism to 5G towers, haven't we?
We have. People have burnt them down.
Which is stupid, really, idiots. Because it's used by the emergency services.
Oh. Oh.
And also, I mean, I've been trying to, I don't want to derail us too much, but fucking 5G, I mean, somebody did point out to me that the tobacco industry is a business model where killing your customers works, but there's also 40 or 50 years of addiction between them dying.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
So that's a good business model. What sort of business model is it for an internet company that's like, oh, we found out our new high-speed internet sort of kills our customers, the ones that will be making money off of? Fuck it, let's roll it out anyway. I don't know. I don't know. To me, it seems a bit my first conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? It's a bit like chemtrails. Anyway, what's the news story say, Mike?
Well, Amir Kahn has bizarrely questioned the unanimous expertise of the world's leading epidemiologists by suggesting the coronavirus did not derive from China, but is a man-made disease designed to kill the elderly and lower population levels.
Oh.
Talking on Instagram, the 33-year-old attempted to explain how he thought the prevailing science was, quote, bullshit, and claimed that the pandemic was, quote, put there for a reason while they test 5G.
In all fairness to Amir Kahn, he has been hitting the head a lot.
That is true.
You know, his last few fights, you know, he showed he hasn't got that strong a chin. He has been knocked out a few times, concussed probably a lot.
Now, if I wanted advice on nutrition or something, or
training,
I would go to someone like Amir Kahn.
Yeah.
On the advice of 5G and coronavirus, I wouldn't go anywhere near him.
No, this is it. This is exactly the point, isn't it? So why is this kind of thing being given column inches in the Independent of all newspapers?
Well, to be fair, they are mocking him a bit, aren't they?
Well, they are, but still, some fucking dozy bastards still think, well, if Amir Kahn thinks that.
Yeah, it's like Freddie Flintoff, he thinks the Earth's flat.
Well, there is that. Then he probably took a lot of cricket balls to the face and drank a lot of alcohol. I think the lesson to be learned is stop taking advice from people who've had several head injuries.
Yeah, because it's forcing me to agree with Michael Gove, because he's had to come out this week and dismiss it as dangerous nonsense.
Hang on, so Michael Gove's on the side of this is crap.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm with Amir Kahn. I can't. Just on principle, I can't agree with that hamster fucker. just on principle, I can't do it. So
now, I'm not saying that I know that 5G is perfectly safe. I've no fucking idea. But to say that they've engineered this coronavirus just so they can roll out a dangerous 5G is just mental, innit?
Of course it is. I mean, you don't, as Gaz said, you don't kill your customers.
They'd just roll it out anyway.
Of course they would.
You know what I mean? They're not. They're really not bothered.
Yeah. I mean, so that there's a meme that says like, it's a picture of a guy working on a 5G mast, and he's like right up to it, right next to it on a cherry picker, and he's got like a hazmat suit thing on. And they're like, the guy working on it's got this suit on. What do you think it's doing to you? It's like, yeah, but I'm not stood next to it.
Yeah.
It's like the microwave. If you put the microwave on with the door open and put your nuts in it, it's going to do you some damage.
Yeah. Well, somebody was driving around with that meter. Is that what you just referred to? There's a video of him driving around with that meter and it's going crazy showing the 5G. But it does exactly the same with your microwave and we're not all dead. So, you know, and we all microwave quite a bit, don't we?
Yeah. Of course we do. So we're going to say that Amir Khan's talking out of his arse, basically.
I'd say so.
I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
Good. For once we're in agreement.
Stick to the boxing, Amir.
Oh, don't do that because you're a bit crap at that too. All right then, Gaz, your one.
Am I this Chernobyl story?
That's the one. Linking back to our Chernobyl episodes. Go check them out.
Why shouldn't you buy Russian underpants, Ben?
Oh, is it because your Nobel fallout?
No, it's because Chernobyl drop off. Okay. Bad news. Radiation 16 times above normal after forest fire near Chernobyl. The blaze started on Saturday close to the site of the world's worst ever nuclear disaster. Ukrainian officials have sought calm after forest fires in the restricted zone around Chernobyl, scene of the world's worst nuclear accident, led to a rise in radiation levels. Firefighters said they had managed to put out the smaller of the two forest fires that began at the weekend. Apparently, after someone began a grass fire and had deployed more. Who the fuck was having a barbecue at Chernobyl? They deployed more than 100 firefighters, backed by planes and helicopters, to extinguish the remaining blaze.
Yeah, but that smoke's going to go in the atmosphere, and it's radiation in the atmosphere now.
Yeah.
Well,
that's not good.
Nope.
It'll be okay. Everything's going to be fine.
There's a fucking killer virus on the loose, and now we've got to deal with this as well.
Yeah. So I can't go out the house anyway, and then I can't go out the house again because every time it rains now, it's going to be nuclear. It's going to be radioactive rain.
Yep. Ben, good times, eh?
Celebrate good times. Come on.
Just read this last little bit 'cause it's quite a long article. As of Monday afternoon, the country's emergency ministry said that the remaining fire in the Chernobyl exclusion zone covered about 20 hectares and was still being extinguished. Footage released by the ministry showed firefighters dousing flames on the forest floor and clouds of poisonous nuclear smoke rising.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
I added the poisonous nuclear bit. It says clouds of smoke rising, but it must be poisonous fucking nuclear, mustn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because remember, if we go back to our episode, they literally turned over the top level of soil and any trees that were there, cut them down and buried them. So it's burning radioactive mulch.
Yeah, the trees that have grown since then have been using that radiated soil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they've got it in their bark and their leaves and all in all of its thing, and that's going into the atmosphere, isn't it?
Of course it is. Don't panic, though.
Don't panic.
Don't panic. Can I just read the last paragraph?
Yeah.
Police have arrested a suspect believed to have caused the blaze, a 27-year-old man from the area who reportedly told police he had set grass and rubbish on fire in 3 places, quote, for fun.
Ugh.
After he'd lit the fires, he said the wind had picked up and he had been unable to extinguish them.
God, this is an idiot.
Utter fuck nut.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the best way to describe this tosser.
Oh,
isn't
dear.
it?
Well, I think that concludes that story. Don't set fire in nuclear places.
Yeah, don't go there. Don't go anywhere near them.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the main cut and thrust of today's topic, the unkillable soldier?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Right. Adrian Carton de Wiart, the soldier who could not be killed. Over the course of 4 wars in 6 decades, Adrian Carton de Wiart proved himself to be the most badass soldier of all time.
Wow.
For most soldiers, the loss of their left eye and left hand would be enough to force them to retire from battlefield service. Not so for Belgian-born British Army officer Sir Adrian Carton de Wiart. Over the course of 4 conflicts, he sustained 11 grievous injuries, which included being shot in the face, head, hand, stomach, leg, groin, and ankle.
Fuck.
And as if that wasn't enough, he survived numerous plane crashes, made multiple escape attempts from an Italian POW camp, and broke his back.
Wow.
Oh.
Despite all of these injuries, he remained fully dedicated to military service. For example, though he married an Austrian countess and they had 2 daughters, he makes no mention of them at all in his memoir.
Huh.
He's all about the fighting. He also knows how to sell a book. Who wants a romance who got 4 wars in 6 decades?
Yeah. Well, he's old school.
He is. They don't, I'm glad to say that I made the same stuff, but they don't make them like this anymore.
No, they don't.
So instead, his memoirs are devoted almost exclusively to his wartime exploits. And with the memoir entitled Happy Odyssey, it's plain to see that he lived for warfare. In his memoir, he recalled his thoughts when the Second Boer War broke out between Britain and the Boer states of South Africa in 1899. And he says, at that moment, I knew once and for all that war was in my blood. And if the British didn't fancy me, I'd offer myself to the Boers. He was a teenager at this point, born in 1880 to a Belgian aristocrat, so he's 19 when the war breaks out. Though a rumour circulated his real father was actually the King of Belgium, Leopold II.
Okay.
His brushes with death started after he left Oxford University to enlist in the British Army. He faked his name and age to qualify for combat and was soon on his way to South Africa. There he was shot in the stomach and groin and was sent to recover in England. In 1901, he returned to South Africa for active duty. This time he enlisted under his real identity and served as a commissioned officer until the war ended in 1902. In 1907, he became a British citizen, and for a few years he played the aristocratic life, shooting fowl and fox around Europe, and he made time to marry and start a family. Simple enough, bit of a badass, goes home, gets his end away, marries a countess. Then, in 1914, World War I broke out, and Carton de Wiart was back in military service. His first campaign was to quell a rebellion in British Somaliland, and there, as a part of the Somaliland Camel Corps, he rode into battle against the forces of the Somali leader, Mohammed Abdullah Hassan, dubbed the Mad Mullah.
He rode into war on a camel.
Yes.
War camels?
War camels against a bloke whose nickname is Mad.
Well, that's mad.
It is. Despite the Brits' successful assault on a Somali fort, things did not go so well for Carton de Wiart. He was shot twice in the face, losing his left eye and part of his left ear. If you're on the defeated side, though, you're on the Somali side, they lost some body parts when the Mad Mullah had them castrated for their failure.
Fuck man.
It's a bit much, isn't it? But then again, it does send a very powerful message to your troops.
Yeah, just a bit. It means I won't want to enlist.
No, I don't think they probably tell you about that when you do.
Yeah.
Hey, you fuck up.
Yeah,
Say
but then you'd be
goodbye to
noticing all the people coming back home to your village from fighting with no balls. I think word would get around, wouldn't it?
Well, it probably would, yeah.
Unless you're that first wave.
Well, how many was left in the first wave? That's the thing.
Yeah.
As for Carton de Wiart, he lost an eye and he gained a Distinguished Service Medal and a glass eye. But he soon found that the glass eye aggravated him, so he flung it out of a taxi window and opted instead for a black eye patch because he's a badass.
Hey.
So, don't like it. Pops his eye out in the back of the cab, flings it into the road, puts an eye patch on, becomes a badass.
Legend.
He believes that he regarded the loss of an eye as a blessing, as it allowed him to get out of Somaliland to Europe, but he thought the real action was. By 1915, he was fighting in the trenches on the Western Front, and during the Second Battle of Ypres, His left hand was shattered by a bombardment from German artillery, and according to his memoirs, he tore off 2 of his own fingers after the doctor wouldn't amputate them.
Oh.
Later that year, a surgeon removed his now mangled hand entirely. Undeterred and seemingly unimpaired, he went on to fight in the Battle of the Somme, Britain's bloodiest day, 1916, during which his men recall seeing the now one-handed man pull pins from grenades with his teeth and then flinging them with his one good hand into enemy territory.
One-armed, one-eyed guy
Just
flinging grenades at you is enough to fucking...
Well, I'd have surrendered if I was on the German side.
Me too.
No, this guy's
I wouldn't have been in the war.
Lunatic.
Yes.
Well, you wouldn't have much of a choice in this particular conflict.
Oh, well, that is true.
He then further distinguished himself in a battle during the assault on the village of La Boisselle in France, when 3 unit commanders from the 8th Battalion Gloucestershire Regiment were killed. Carton de Wiart then took charge of all 3 units and they turned the assault back. He was then awarded the Victoria Cross, but he humbly made no mention of it in his memoirs, claiming that it had been won by the 8th Gloucesters, for every man has done as much as I have.
That's good.
Yeah, that's nice.
Recognising his troops.
Yeah. Again, in the front line, as was the case at La Boisselle, Carton de Wiart's ability to lead from the front in some of the biggest hellholes of World War I accounted for the sheer number of critical injuries he suffered. In the trenches of Devil's Wood, for example, he received what would be normally a kill shot to the back of the head, but survived.
Fuck.
Hey?
Yeah. Got shot in the back of the head, survived.
Wow.
During 3 subsequent battles, he was shot in the ankle, hip and leg, but soon regained full mobility after he convalesced. His final bullet wound was a relatively superficial one to his ear. Despite his losses of various body parts, he said, and I quote, "Frankly, I'd enjoyed the war."
That's amazing.
And wherever there was a war, Adrian Carton de Wiart was sure to find it. Between 1919 and 1921, he commanded the British effort to aid Poland, which was engaged in multiple conflicts with the Soviet Bolsheviks, the Ukrainians, the Lithuanians, and the Czechs. In 1919, he survived 2 plane crashes, one of which resulted in a brief period of Lithuanian captivity, and then in August 1920, Cossacks attempted to hijack his observation train. He took them on single-handedly, armed only with a revolver, literally single-handedly, because he's got one hand. During the fight, he fell onto the track, but leapt straight back onto the moving train and took care of the rest of them.
What the fuck is this guy?
And why haven't they made a movie?
Yeah.
It's too unrealistic.
Yeah. Yeah. Took this to Hollywood as a script, they'd be like, it's too unrealistic, mate. This is mental.
Yeah.
No one will believe this.
So, while posted in Poland, he became quite taken with the place and decided to remain there after the Poles won the war in 1921. He retired with the honorary rank of Major General in 1923 and spent the next 15 years shooting daily at his Polish estate. Unfortunately, peace was relatively short-lived for the Poles, who was devastated by attacks from both Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union during the opening months of World War II. So, unfortunately, peace was relatively short-lived for the Poles, who were devastated by attacks from both Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union during the opening months of World War II. Carton de Wiart was forced to escape Poland and then headed back to Great Britain, where he re-enlisted in the British Army.
How old is he at this point?
He's getting on for 60 at this point. He's in his late 50s.
So at this point, he's in his late 50s. He's lost a hand, lost an eye, been shot in the back of the head, lost an ankle.
Shot in the ankle, shot in the hip, shot in the leg. Yeah, lost his eye, lost his hand.
And this guy is still thirsty for more.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And he's about 58 at this point. So in 1940, he was sent to take command of the Anglo-French force in Norway. His arrival set the tone for the catastrophic mission to come. His seaplane was forced to land on a fjord when he was attacked by a German fighter plane. In true Adrian Carton de Wiart style, he refused to get into the rubber dinghy because it would be a sitting duck. Instead, he waited in the wreckage until the enemy plane literally ran out of ammunition and then flew off. A naval vessel was sent over, and he casually got in and was taken to shore. He didn't last long in Norway, sadly. His forces were outgunned and undersupplied. The Norway campaign was a complete fucking mess for the Allies in 1940. It was an attempt to get a bit of pride back, and it did not go well.
You know what? I know nothing about that.
Oh, they don't tell us much about that one because we didn't do very well.
Yeah, that's it. They always leave them ones out, don't they?
They do. It was a really poor attempt to kind of get a bit of pride back, and it did not work. Still, under his leadership, his forces managed to traverse over mountains and get to Trondheim Fjord, all while being bombarded by the Luftwaffe, withstanding artillery strikes on the German Navy, and avoiding German ski troops. Ultimately, the Royal Navy, while under bombardment, managed to ferry the men out of Norway to safety, and Carton de Wiart arrived in Great Britain on his 60th birthday, so he was 59 when he was got told, hey, you're going to take over the troops in Norway. By the way, it's a bit of a shit show. Do what you can to get as many men out.
Yeah. Wow. And he did quite well, though, didn't he? He went full RoboCop.
He did. Now, in April 1941, so he must have done a good job because he's still getting jobs. He was appointed by Churchill to lead a British mission in Yugoslavia, but he never got there. En route to Yugoslavia via Malta, his Wellington bomber suddenly took a nosedive into the Mediterranean. He and the Royal Air Force crew took refuge on the wing until the fuselage started to sink. Then, the 61-year-old Adrian Carton de Wiart helped an injured, struggling comrade swim the mile to shore.
Whoa.
61, no hand, shot multiple times, one eye, helps a young, probably 18, 19-year-old man to swim to shore. As soon as they made the coastline, they were captured by the Italians. He was sent to a Vinci Galita castle outside Florence, where he was one of 13 high-ranking officers held prisoner. And then this is something like The Great Escape, but starring senior citizens. The prisoners refused to stay incarcerated and mounted numerous attempts to escape. Determined, they even excavated a 60-foot tunnel through solid bedrock over a labour-intensive 7 months until 6 of them escaped in March 1943.
Why has a movie not been made of this guy?
Exactly.
It's got everything.
The best of it is they dressed as Italian peasants, but a one-handed man with a black eye patch proved conspicuous, and after 8 days, Carton de Wiart was soon returned to captivity. Yet the war wasn't over for him, and no more escapades to be had.
Wow.
Right. So, the only reason he's standing out is because he'd be on the lookout for a bloke with one eye and one arm, one hand. Oh, there he is. Even the Italians couldn't miss that. So the Italians in 43 decided they wanted to switch sides, and they took Carton de Wiart to Rome to help negotiate with the Allies. On the August 28th, 1943, he returned to Great Britain, and only back a month before he was given a new assignment, this time as Churchill's special representative to Chinese leader Chiang Kai-shek. Before heading to China, he accompanied Chiang Kai-shek to the Cairo conference, where the Allies discussed Japan's post-war future. After the conference, Carton de Wiart remained in China for 4 years, where he managed to experience yet another plane crash. Finally, in 1947, he retired. Even then, sustaining yet another serious injury. On his way back to England from China, he stopped off in Rangoon and slipped down a flight of stairs, breaking his back, knocking himself unconscious. During his recovery, the doctors removed a huge amount of shrapnel from his war-torn body. depending on your perspective, luckiest or unluckiest soldier to have ever lived.
Bit of both, isn't it?
Yeah.
But died peacefully in 1963 at the age of 83.
Well, you
Wow.
can't complain then, can he?
Not really. No.
Yeah, this
What a
guy's
badass.
insane.
Now, I did a little bit more digging and found, realised that when Mike suggested this episode that one of my heroes was perfect to go into this because he is also a complete war-loving lunatic.
Right.
And it's not me.
Okay.
Yet.
Lieutenant Colonel John Mad Jack Churchill. He had a
I've
motto:
heard of this fellow.
any officer who goes into action without his sword is improperly dressed. I like that. He was referring, of course, to the basket-hilted Scottish broadsword that he armed himself with during battle.
Now, Ben,
And-
explain how big a broadsword is for people who don't know.
Anywhere from 4 to 8 feet long, but Jack was using the probably the 4 foot long version because it was
It's still
one-handed.
quite a hefty sword, isn't it?
It is. Not only that, he would have that scabbard at his hip. He'd have his longbow on his shoulder and his bagpipes in his hand. Because that's right. While everyone else was firing rifles and loading their tanks, Jack Churchill preferred some good old-fashioned hand-to-hand combat. In addition to his sword, he occasionally used a longbow.
Now, this is in what? The First World War?
Second World War.
Second.
Yeah.
Still using a longbow in the Second World War.
So he was the only man using the longbow in the Second World War.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's mad.
Yeah. He took second place in the World Archery Championships in Oslo, Norway, and also competed in the military piping competition. He was a keen bagpiper. Appeared in 2 films during his time between wars. The Thief at Baghdad and A Yank at Oxford. And then, so Churchill's adventure spirit was put on hold in 1939, the dawn of World War II. After Germany invaded Poland, he resumed his post in the British Army, this time as the British Expeditionary Force to France. During one of his force's raids, he ambushed a German patrolman, shooting him with a barbed arrow. His shot earned him the title of the only British soldier to have felled an enemy with a longbow during the war.
Wow.
And then he decided he was going to join the Commandos, where he gained a notoriety for charging into battle, playing the bagpipes and throwing grenades. Churchill led the Commandos across Europe, from Norway to Italy to Yugoslavia, all the while armed with his longbow, bagpipes, and a Scottish broadsword. At one point, he was marching through Sicily with only his sword, and he and his corporal managed to capture 42 German soldiers. He then, at some point during a commando raid, his team was ambushed. A mortar shell hit the entire team, but he managed to survive death, and he was taken to Sachsenhausen concentration camp. However, just after days of being captured, he and another army officer crawled through the wire fence and through an abandoned drain to escape the camp. They made it all the way to the Baltic coast. Now, Sachsenhausen concentration camp was just outside of Berlin. So to make it to the north coast of Germany, the Baltic coast, is quite an achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so he was captured twice. He remained in the army in 1944, so he escaped twice. Just months after being reunited with American forces, he was sent to Burma to participate in the land battles against Japan. However, by the time he'd arrived, the war was ending as Nagasaki and Hiroshima had just been bombed. According to fellow soldiers, Churchill was disappointed in the sudden end of the war and exclaimed, "If it wasn't for those damn Yanks, we could have kept the war going another 10 years.
Fuck me.
Then he has a bit of a more pacifisty role. He goes to Palestine to train with the army to coordinate rescue efforts and evacuation efforts for civilians and Jewish citizens who are under attack. Then he moved to Australia, took up surfing, and died as a surfer, basically. First person to ride the River Severn's tidal bore. That's the river by us. You know, that has that tide come through it.
It does, yeah. I've seen it. I've seen people surf it. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Even when he retired, he remained eccentric as ever. Every time he would take the train home from the city to his home, he would toss his briefcase out the window. When questioned why he would do such a thing, he explained to the conductors he was simply throwing his briefcase into his own backyard, so he wanted to carry it home from the station.
Yeah. I saw this guy's kids were on, his sons were on QI.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way I know about this guy. They told the briefcase story.
Yeah, I like it.
Imagine being one of the passengers.
Yeah.
Some old dude just gets up and slings his briefcase off the train. I'm not going to sit with him.
Yeah. I like it. I like both of them. Obviously, I'm cut from the same cloth.
It's hard to think you can compare a quartermaster sergeant and the TA to what they did, but
I just needed my chance.
nah.
I'd have been exactly like
Literally.
one of them two.
Can't like literally anybody get into the TA.
No,
Well,
you've got to pass a medical. You've got to pass a mental evaluation. Take a test as well.
How the fuck did you blag your way through that?
I did psychology. I know exactly how to plan my way through tests.
Are you kidding, Gaz? It's the army. They want psychopaths. They're looking for them.
Oh, that's below the belt.
No.
You know me. I'm a perfectly lovable character.
You got anything else, Mike?
Yes.
Yay!
Future soldiers.
So, obviously, we've got these two unkillable mad bastards, but then Mike says, well, you know what? Oh.
Sorry, that was my
Mike,
computer.
Mike said, you know what? What are the future unkillable soldiers going to be like?
Mm.
Yeah.
So we dipped into sci-fi.
Yes, because there isn't a lot out there about future soldiers. A lot of the programs have been shut down, especially the US. So I'm thinking that they must be thinking about putting their resources more into robots and AI.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, back in the day on our DARPA episode, we talked about soldiers who wouldn't need sleep, who could regrow limbs, things like that. Obviously, Randy Kramer, Captain America in Space, he had several limbs regrown.
Mr. Kramer.
Love Randy Kramer.
I know you do. Oh, well, fair play. Whatever floats your boat.
So we were thinking, what would be the ultimate super soldier? And we looked to fiction, and we looked to the Warhammer universe, didn't we, Ben? The Warhammer 40k universe.
Yep, Warhammer 40,000, set in the 41st millennium.
Awesome.
That's
30,000 years from now, pretty much.
38,000 years, is it?
38,000 years from now.
So think of from Christ to now, another 19 of them, and that's where we would be in the future, 41st millennium.
Yeah. If we live that long as a species.
Well, there is that as well.
Yeah, in this world, man has spread out amongst the galaxies, hasn't it, Bennett?
Yep, they've spread amongst the stars, but the chap in charge, the Emperor, realised that normal humans weren't going to be tough enough for the job. So he took a load of teenagers, did some experiments, and came up with the Space Marine.
Yay!
The Adeptus Astartes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll start with a quote from the Emperor of Mankind, who leads the human forces in the 41st millennium.
To a point, I mean, he is sat as a rotting corpse on a chair, but, he's there.
Technically.
He's still in charge.
They shall be my finest warriors, these men who give themselves to me. Like clay I shall mould them, and in the furnace of war forge them. They will be of iron will and steely muscle. In great armour shall I clad them, and with the mightiest guns will they be armed. They will be untouched by plague or disease, no sickness will blight them. They will have tactics, strategies and machines such that no foe can best them in battle. They are the bulwark against the terror. They are the defenders of humanity. They are my space marines, and they shall know no fear.
Oh.
Does that get your cock a bit twitchy?
Give me a twitch. Just give me a twitch, yeah. Yeah.
So the Adeptus Astartes, commonly known as Space Marines, colloquially as Angels of Death,
That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
That's pretty metal.
are one of the most elite and feared fighting forces in the Imperium of Man. They are barely human at all, but superhuman, having been made superior in all respects to a normal man by a harsh regime of genetic modification, psycho-conditioning, and rigorous training.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. It's probably not, though, to be fair.
No, not at all.
No, we'll get into that later. Space Marines are untouched by plague or any natural disease and can suffer wounds that would kill a lesser being several times over and live to fight again. They are the God Emperor's Angels of Death, and they know no fear. Recruits are chosen from the best warriors among humanity. Among the most valued traits in a recruit are aggression and psychotic level killer instinct.
Yeah. So when we say like they would survive wounds that kill a lesser man, as in we're talking about having a limb blown off and still being conscious, still able to fight. The loss of blood won't kill them. The shock won't kill them. The trauma won't kill them. They can be patched up, given a robotic replacement, back out there in a couple of weeks, a month tops.
Fuck.
They can take a round to the chest. Yeah, be fine.
And they look cool as fuck.
They do look cool as fuck. Are you googling it now?
No, I've seen Space Warriors, what they're called, Space Marines.
Yeah.
One of those things that looks like I should love it, but it's just like, isn't it like chess?
Nah,
Again, to a point.
It's tabletop wargaming.
Does sound incredibly nerdy when you put it like that.
Yeah.
No. Sounds perfectly reasonable way to spend your time. It's no sadder than playing video games, is it? It's no different.
That's it.
No, that's true.
You know.
Basically, they get 19 extra organs to a human.
Yeah, I'll get into that.
Yeah.
What are they? Have we got a list?
You got a list?
Yeah, I got a list, mate.
Excellent.
Let's continue. The potential recruit is first subjected to testing, including tissue compatibility tests and psychological screening. Relatively few get past this initial selection process. Those that do pass are termed neophytes, and the process continues with a surgery, indoctrination, conditioning, and training that will make them Marines.
Wow.
The surgical process takes a great deal of time. The recruit receives implants along with chemical and hypnotherapy and training necessary for allowing the functioning and development of the implanted organs. The implants transform their bodies and minds and give them inhuman abilities, making them capable of spitting acidic venom, absorbing the memories of the dead by eating their flesh, darkening their skin to protect it from radiation, and operating for long periods without sleep by switching off parts of their brains at a time.
It's not bad going. These are literally like teenagers, chosen at 13. And by the time you're about 21, 22, you've got your full suit of organs, and you're off and ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, the full list of 19 gene seed organs presented in the order in which they must be implanted within a firstborn Space Marine neophyte is as follows. First, secondary heart.
Makes sense.
This is the first and least difficult implant to install. The secondary heart increases blood supply and pumping capacity and is capable of taking over entirely should the primary heart fail. It may also pump steroids and adrenaline into the first primary heart to give the Astartes an extra rush of energy on the battlefield.
It's not bad going, eh?
Not really.
Seems quite handy.
Yeah. 2 is the os modulate, known as the iron heart. This implant strengthens and greatly accelerates the growth of the skeleton of a Space Marine by inducing his bones to absorb a ceramic-based mineral administered in every Astartes neophyte's diet. Within 2 standard years after the surgery, The Space Marine's skeleton will be larger and exponentially stronger than a normal man's, with growth having topped out at around 7 to 7.5 feet. That's 2.1 to 2.3 meters in height, with an equivalent amount of skeletal-muscular mass. And Astartes' rib cage will also be fused into solid bone plate to provide greater protection from the injury for the internal organs.
Fucking hell.
Sounds good.
3. Biscopia. Implanted into the chest cavity, this implant massively bolsters skeletal muscular development and muscle fiber density throughout the Astartes body to increase physical strength by unleashing a wave of human growth hormones.
Not bad.
4. Hemostamen. Implanted into the main blood vessel like the aorta, femoral artery, or the vena cava, the hemostamenon alters an Astartes blood's biochemical composition to carry oxygen and nutrients more efficiently.
So yeah, you get your secondary heart pumping that blood round, and the next thing you know, you get a shot of adrenaline. It's all through the system.
2 hearts
loving that.
at the shot of an adrenaline. That will surely make the end of your cock explode. Not in a second. At the end of your dick.
Yeah, more than likely.
Wow.
Then you got the Larraman's organ, which is shaped like the human liver, but only the size of a golf ball. It's placed in the chest cavity, manufactures a synthetic biological cells known as Larraman cells.
Wow.
Which serve to clot the blood lost from wounds, but they act faster, more efficiently, and more effectively. And at the site of the injury, they form scar tissue in a matter of seconds.
Like Wolverine.
Want.
Yeah. The catalepsian node is implanted into the back of the cerebrum. This implant allows a space marine to avoid sleep, instead entering an almost comatose trance where their minds recharge. It also allows one half of the brain to rest while the other hemisphere remains alert, thus removing the need for the unconsciousness required by normal sleep. So they never properly sleep.
They can go about 3 weeks without full sleep in the fluff. So about 3 weeks, and then they have to sort of do this sort of half and half thing. But like 1-2 hours a night of that, they're absolutely fine, to be fair.
Well, I suppose to go to space, you've got to do fighting. You know what I mean? You've got to be, you can't have any old flat-footed grunt, can you?
No, you've got to choose the best, really.
Yeah. And grow them an extra heart or two.
Yeah. But and an extra lung, as you've got coming up later.
Yeah. Next is the preemnor, essentially an organic decontamination chamber connected to the digestive system. It's capable of biochemically analysing ingested materials and neutralising most known biochemical and inorganic toxins.
Can't be poisoned.
Yep.
Can eat whatever you want.
That's fucking awesome.
The omophagia, implanted into the upper spinal cord so it becomes a component of the central nervous system. This organ is designed to absorb information and any DNA sequences related to experience or memory. This enables a space marine to gain information simply by eating an animal indigenous to an alien world and experiencing some of what the creature did before its death.
Wow.
So basically, if you kill some of the enemy, you can then eat their brain raw, and this organ tells you what they were doing before they died, how many of them are there, what they were doing,
what their plans are, probably.
What their plans are.
Wow. So does anyone ever get one up over these guys then, or do they just trample over everything?
Well, a good last cannon will fucking blast one to nothing, but...
No, they do get their asses kicked. They are not infallible.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Because there's only like 1,000, at the most there's like 1,000 of them at one time in one place.
Yeah, they're the elite of the elite.
Yeah, there's like only 1 million of them in the entire Imperium. There's like one per planet if you spread it out that way.
Most of the fighting forces of man are just normal humans with what's called last guns, which are just like torches.
Yeah, they get a torch, a cardboard vest, and standard issue adamantium testicles.
Standard issue.
Yeah. Standard issue adamantium testicles.
Excuse me, I'm going to cough.
Oh, he's infected.
Yes, I'm dying.
Oh. If you'd like to be a host on the show.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so go on.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got the multi-lung next, which is a third lung implanted into the Astartes pulmonary and circulatory systems in the chest cavity. Is able to absorb oxygen from environments, usually too poor in oxygen to allow normal human respiratory functioning.
They can actually breathe underwater with that.
Okay.
You're sucking the oxygen out of the H2O out of the water. Well, the O2 out of the water, should I say.
And the next one they have is the oculobe, which is known as the eye of vengeance.
Oh, sounds sweet.
It enhances eyesight after being implanted along the optic nerve and connected to the retina, granting him exceptional vision and the ability to see normally in a low light environment.
Massively increased eyesight. Which makes sense.
The lineman's ear is implanted in a space marine to make them immune to dizziness and motion-induced nausea and filter white. Sorry.
I was going to say they could go on rides and stuff then.
Yeah.
They're always at Alton Towers, you know.
They got to have downtime.
Well, that's it, yeah.
It allows them to filter out white noise. Next, you've got the Susan membrane. This implant allows the space marine to enter a catatonic or suspended animation state and is implanted within the brain as part of the body's endocrine system. It can allow a mortally wounded Astartes to survive his injuries and bring the metabolism to a standstill until he can receive full medical care.
He basically just puts himself in a hibernation cocoon.
He gets injured.
Gets too badly injured to fight. Like one of his hearts is out. Yeah, just go into this animation. Wait till someone gets to me.
And you've got the melanochrome, which allows his skin to be shielded from dangerous levels of radiation and heat. You've got
yeah.
You've got the eulytic kidney, works in conjunction with the preomna, filtering the blood to remove toxins that have been ingested or breathed into the body. Known as a purifier.
Again, can't be poisoned.
Yeah. The neuroglottis, it's implanted in the mouth, allows the Astartes to biochemically assess a wide variety of things simply by taste or smell, biochemically testing various objects for toxicity and nutritional content, essentially determining if the substance is edible or poisonous. It's a handy trick, isn't it?
It is, and you can track them like a dog if you have to.
That's useful.
Yeah.
The mucranoid, which is implanted into the central nervous system and responds to specific chemical stimuli in the environment, causing the space marine to secrete a waxy protein substance similar to mucus through his pores that seals his skin. Space marines are cocooned in this way before they enter suspended animation, and the process can protect them from the harshness of the vacuum and other extremes of temperature.
So get blasted into space, your arm is damaged. Activate that.
Yeah. And you're fixed.
You're going to be all right for a bit.
The Betcher's gland, which is known as the poison bite, consists of two separate glands implanted into multiple locations inside an Astartes mouth, including the inside of the lower lip and the salivary glands. These two glands work in tandem to transform a space marine's saliva into a corrosive, blinding acid.
It's not bad.
An Astartes trapped behind iron bars, for example, will be able to chew his way out given a few hours.
They have thought of everything, haven't they?
Yeah.
They have.
There's two more. The progenoid gland, implanted into both neck and the chest cavity. These reproductive glands serve to collect, gestate, and maintain the gene seed from his body.
So basically, when they die in battle. The chap comes along. He's got a specific device. He removes those glands, and each space marine grows two, and he then puts those glands into the next generation of aspirants, neophytes, and they take some experience, some of the characteristics of the previous owner into themselves, and basically carry that on with them. So every gene seed that's gone through from the original days, you're carrying some genetic memory with you all the way through that line.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the last one is the black carapace, which is known as the interface. It is a neuroreactive fibrous organic material implanted directly under the skin in the chest area. It has invasive fibre bundles that serve as neuron connectors that grow inward from the implant and interlink with the space marine's central nervous system, allowing him to directly interface his nervous system with his power armor suit, which is his armor.
Wow.
Yeah, basically it's a fully enclosed suit of armor. It all sort of plugs into various input sockets in the skin, which are then linked to this carapace under it. And he literally wears the armor like a second skin. He can just be, in fact, because he's stronger and faster with the armor, he's even more deadly.
Fuck.
So yeah, that's where it could end up. Who's to say?
Well, we're definitely going to have genetically, you could argue that giving drugs to someone is genetically engineering them, isn't it? So
Well, that's true.
you could say we kind of already, we've opened the door. I think it's only a matter of time before we get there.
Absolutely.
Well, that's if we survive the current apocalypse that we find ourselves
Well, there is this. I mean, who is to say? Who knows what's going to happen? I haven't got a fucking clue.
I don't want to see robo-soldiers fucking marching down the street. Like, do you have a valid excuse to be out? They're already using drones, Ben.
Yeah. Oh, man, imagine if all those robo-soldiers look like Boris.
Oh, God.
Or sound like Boris. I say, have you got a jolly good reason to be out?
Have you noticed the worst thing I've seen there? Have you noticed all the people turning on each other and grassing each other in and stooging each other and calling the police on their neighbours? They're the fucking people that would have been pushing people onto the trains in Nazi Germany.
Yep. It's true, though. It's true. It's absolutely true.
That's what they said. Government said. They're fucking writing nasty notes to their neighbours like, I've seen you leave twice today. I'm like, oh, God. I couldn't give a shit what our neighbours are up to.
Well, that's it. I mean, there's always the collaborators, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
No matter where you are, there's always the collaborators.
Don't be a stooge.
Snitches get stitches.
Mm-hmm.
When all this is over, we're coming for you.
Well, I know you'd probably sign up for so you could have all that stuff done to you. I imagine would be quite painful, and you'd never live a normal life again. But would you still choose it, Ben?
No,
it's too much.
They have a shitty life. I mean, you're functionally immortal, but you're going to die in battle. That's kind of it, really. You don't get to shag. You're basically a warrior monk. The main theory is that their sexual desire is removed through all the hypnotic suggestion, all the hypnotic training they have.
Right.
They don't end up with a sexual desire.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee that you're going to make it all the way to the end. You might die during surgery, one of the organs might fail.
Yeah.
Fucked, you're dead. They'll just toss your body aside. Next kid.
Yeah, gene seed out, next one in.
Sounds about right. I'd go for the cool spacesuit, though. If I could just have that, like a bit like Iron Man style, and take it off at the end of the day. And still have
I'll tell you a little bit about it.
Go on then, mate.
It's composed of layered ceramite and adamantium.
Wow.
Yeah,
I thought adamantium
basically like a concrete.
I thought adamantium was copyright Marvel.
No, it's a real thing.
Oh. Do you know that I heard of something cool the other day? I didn't look it up, but you might like this, boys. There's a fictional periodic table online featuring all the sort of fictional elements from pop culture.
Yeah.
Like vibranium. That's the only one I can think of right now. Unobtainium.
Unobtainium. I watched an episode of that game show. Fuck me, what's it called?
I haven't seen that one.
Hey, Pointless.
Pointless.
I saw an episode of Pointless, and they got to the final, Yeah, and the question was, name 3 elements on the periodic table. Now you got to pick the most obscure. And she was a chemistry student, and she said unobtainium. I was like, oh my god.
Who said university education is all that, eh?
Oh.
Wow.
But apparently she wasn't the only person, because they ask 100 people, don't they? And apparently 3 other people came up with that one.
Huh? I know.
Our survey says.
Retard. That's what the survey says.
Now who's dropping the R-bombs?
Well, you dropped so many, I thought to myself, well, why not? Why can't I drop one?
Well, if any retards listening are offended by it,
You go fuck yourself.
can't forget me, can you? Quarantine, bitch.
Yeah, you're more vulnerable to it than I am.
Oh dear. Well, we got any more future robo soldiers?
Yeah, we got their weapon. They use the bolt gun.
Okay.
It's basically like a miniature rocket-propelled grenade that fires on fully automatic. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a powerful .75 caliber assault weapon that fires explosive kinetic rounds, colloquially referred to as bolts.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
And they fire with a depleted uranium core.
Whew.
Wow.
And
I've held those to my crotch.
And they got different ammo for it. One's called the Inferno bolt. The uranium core is replaced with an oxyphosphorus gel that reacts with oxygen in the air. So when you fire at someone, not only do they get shot, they get burned alive.
Sounds fair.
You got the Hellfire bolt. Each bolt is tipped with thousands of needles and a vial of mutagenic acid. When the round enters the target's body, the vial shatters and the needles pierce the victim's flesh, pumping the acid into the target.
As a shitter.
Yeah, and you've got one called Mortis bolts. Mortis bolts spew self-replicating mutagenic toxins into the flesh of the target, causing the rapid and complete collapse of all vital biological systems, while making for a horrifying spectacle in the bargain.
Horrifying? Some say horrifying. Some say pretty fucking interesting.
Yeah.
So they're pretty bad.
Oh, what's he going to mutate into? Oh, I don't know. So that's, I suppose, that hypothetically, those are all the qualities you would want a future soldier to have: unbreakable bones, third lung, second heart, massive power armor. So maybe they will be
spit acid,
acid, improved eyesight, improved hearing, doesn't have to sleep. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, obviously, maybe this guy, Adrian Carton de Wiart, will be some kind of inspiration for them.
Yeah, man.
Because clearly he was also a lunatic.
Just a bit.
I think we can all agree that both those chaps are particularly badass.
Yeah.
Yep.
So shall we finish on some weird news?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
So I'll start then. Postman does deliveries in fancy dress to lift spirits of people in lockdown. Yeah. Joe Matson, 39, is wearing fancy dress in the hopes of lifting people's spirits. There's a picture of him there. He's one of the Spartans from 300.
God, you two are so miserable. This was a happy story. I put it in. I like it.
Oh, no, I think it's a bit fucking... Oh, God, if I saw him, I'd be like, ha, ha, ha. Oh, you're trying too fucking hard, you prick.
Yeah, but the kids would love it and stuff, wouldn't they?
You haven't got any children, so it doesn't matter, does it?
I'll leave a vibe. I can still appreciate the other children.
You don't even see the postman. He just leaves it all downstairs for you.
Well, I thought it was great.
Do you even know what your postman looks like?
Well, it changes, but sometimes, yeah. I've had different ones for ages. They keep changing.
No, it must be
Every
the
time I
area.
see him, there's someone new.
So a postman has been attempting to spread a little joy everywhere he goes as he continues to drop off his deliveries in fancy dress. In the last few days, the dad of two has been seen around the Bolton area dressed up as Little Bo Peep and a Greek soldier, and tells people they should expect to see many more outfits in the coming days. He was told he could do his rounds in his crazy quote, crazy outfits as long as he wore his ID and his company shoes.
Oh, God.
Explaining why he decided to wear fancy dress, he told the Sunderland Echo, "Everyone is uncertain at the moment, and you're the only person outside the family that they see, so why not give them something to smile about?"
That's it, why not?
Because it's shit.
Well, if it brings other people joy, then I'm all for it.
Well, he can just go fuck himself.
You miserable cunt.
Yeah. So why is he outside having all the fun dressing up as shit and I'm stuck in here?
He's fucking postman. He's doing his job.
I don't want the shit he's bringing me half the time. It's bills.
You can dress up inside if you want and sit in whatever you want.
Well, I've been wearing a toga for the last few days, but that's
there
the
you
point.
Go. See, no one's stopping you.
No, that's just what I do when I'm not home. Or dress up as an 18th century British field marshal. One of the two.
It's easier to wank in a toga and you've got like somewhere to clean up after.
Yeah, pretty much just wipe and go.
Wow. Okay.
It's a lot harder to wank dressed as a field marshal. And breeches are tight.
Moving on.
It's you next, Mike, I think.
Okay. King of Thailand isolating from coronavirus with his 20 concubines in luxury hotel.
It's not bad, is it?
Sorry for some minute.
It's not bad at all.
Apparently, King Maha, I'm not going to pronounce his second name, also known as Rama X, has recused himself in the Grand Hotel Sonnebikel.
Yeah, I guess so.
A 5-star Alpine hotel in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, Germany, to weather the Rona storm while the rest of the country suffocates from the inside out. Rama X, or Triple X, as he's probably now been known, did some light packing for his trip. An entourage of over 100, and of course his harem of 20 female concubines.
Wow.
Tens of thousands have criticised their king online, despite the fact that doing so is illegal and risks up to 15 years in jail.
Wow.
In Thai jail at that.
That's fucking not good for anybody.
No.
A Thai language hashtag that translates to "Why do we need a king?" appeared 1.2 million times on Twitter after news of the king's trip broke.
Best of it is he's got 4 wives and all.
Fuck.
It's just a sex holiday.
Yeah.
Sex holiday.
Sex holiday. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
That's our new cover song, is it?
Yeah.
Sex holiday, it would be so nice.
Nice. Sex holiday. Yeah, we'll branch into disco. We'll be like Kiss. We'll do a disco album.
Bring back Disco Ben.
He's dead.
Ben.
Disco Ben's dead, I'm afraid. I killed him.
Disco Ben's dead?
Yeah, I killed him.
Oh. Well, I'm not really sure how to...
It was Ben's alter ego.
Yeah. Evil alter ego.
Your evil alter ego enjoyed the disco.
He did. Yeah. But he's dead now, so it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, next up, Gaz.
Yeah, okay. Seconds, I just got to click on the mother flubber. Guy films himself licking deodorant at Walmart, gets arrested and charged with terrorism.
Well, why not?
Wow. A Missouri man may have earned first place on the all-time list of people who regret doing something dumb for a video. The non-porn, non-death division. 26-year-old Cody Lee regrets making that video and posting it to Twitter because he has since been arrested and charged with a terrorist threat in the 2nd degree by the Warren County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. People were so disgusted with the video, which received over 4 million views, that the Warrington
They're so disgusted with it, it got 4 million views.
Yeah, they received complaints from all over the United States, as well as from the United Kingdom, Ireland, and the Netherlands.
It's only tongue in cheek, though, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I think you'll find it's tongue fully out, Mike.
Sorry, just making a bad pun.
So was
So
I.
good. Puns are always welcome, especially shit ones. His client made the video on the 10th of March, a day before the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic, and that he was not yet cognizant of how serious the virus is. A couple of thoughts. Number one, terrorism charges feel like a lot for this guy, but only because of the timing. If he did this today, I would say, yeah, sure, bury him. Clearly, he has a pretty solid lawyer. Let's skip to the end. That's it, basically. He's going to be charged with terrorism.
Well,
fuck him.
Don't be a dick.
So desperate for those fucking likes, wasn't he? Oh,
That's
God.
it, isn't it? You're like, oh, I really want some likes. Look at me, look at me, look at what I'm weird I'm doing. Oh, yeah. And you know what?
The only thing you'll be licking now is his prison bar cells.
The only thing he'll be licking now is his fucking cellmate's balls. As they play a fun game called Balls on Chin.
Participation is not voluntary.
No, we'll probably be bound and gagged in a wedding dress.
Yeah.
You know? Don't be a dick.
Wow. Okay, fair enough. So I was just going to say, I think he deserves everything that's coming to him, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
It's a little stupid, isn't it?
Incredibly stupid.
Oh, man, if you did that in the UK, you'd be beaten to a pulp in the supermarket.
Old biddies.
Yeah, he's battering you with Zimmer frames and walking sticks. And they've all got masks on, so the blood won't splatter into their vital orifices.
Oh, God. Most of them they've had spit screens built, haven't they? So.
Oh, man, all of them have, yeah. They've got these perspex screens up and you can't breathe over the staff anymore.
What, did you like breathing over the staff before, did you?
Well, a couple of them, yeah.
You get restraining orders, Ben, for that sort of thing?
Oh, I've got a couple, but I was like, Joe Biden does it, so it's okay.
True.
You know?
Yeah. He used to like little boys playing with his leg hairs in the swimming pools.
Apparently he did.
Oh, God.
That was creepy. But you know that old Donny is going to claw another win in, don't you? That's the best they could put up against him.
Oh, of course, mate. It's nailed on. Of course it is. Biden's got no chance. He's demented.
He's got dementia. And maybe he will. Maybe he'll surprise us all.
And who wants Biden anyway? It's just continuation of the same old shit. It's no different to Trump and his policies. In some, it's probably even worse.
I bet he'll want to continue the war on terror.
Of course he will.
Got to keep that one going.
Probably got shares in Raytheon and Boeing.
Probably. Or certainly Drones Incorporated. If I love the drone, and obviously Biden was VP for him, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Although Trump has apparently ramped it up 462% since Obama.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of percent.
That's insane, isn't it?
Oh,
yes.
They're the real terrorists, Ben.
Oh, well, there you go.
The US government.
And the Brits.
And the Brits. And the French.
And the French.
Yeah, and
Italians.
all of them.
All
They're
the-
all fucking. Everyone's a bit of a cunt sometimes.
All the time, really.
Sometimes.
All the time, in all fairness.
Yeah. But hey, what a wonderful world this could be.
Yay.
Have to depose the psychopaths first.
Well, you get on that, Mike. Let's know how you get on.
I'm on it.
Right, should we... anything like that shrink ray that you're working on?
On the what?
That shrink ray you promised me the other week so I could go and battle the coronavirus on a microscopic level.
I'll be honest, not progressing as much as I'd have liked.
Right.
It's not really out of the... well, it's not in any phase, to be fair.
Is it not on paper either?
No.
No. So you got high and forgot about it, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, there goes humanity's last chance.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Oh, well, what can you do, eh? We had a good
What
run.
can you do?
100,000 years, that's not bad for a species.
There we go.
Should we call it a day then, boys?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was
Alright.
fun. I like the
It
future
was.
soldiers.
And
Cool.
one day, someone can be a future soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've been Ben. Thanks for listening. Don't drink the Flavour Aid. Don't join a cult unless it's a tiger cult. And stay indoors and stay safe and all that.
Yeah. I've been Gaz. Free Biff Tannen. See you next week.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
And also with you.
Night.